So it's getting to that time of year again when I start to look at everything that I've reviewed over the last year and give you the ultimate guide of the best facial interfaces that you can buy for the Quest 3 and the Quest 3S. Because it kind of feels like there's been new versions of all of these coming out almost every month. So some of these you would have seen before, some of these I haven't even reviewed on the channel before, so I'm going to be comparing them all side by side, ranking them all against each other, so you'll know by the end of this video if any of these are right for you. Let's check them out. So I have been sent most of these facial interfaces by their respective companies, and I have actually bought some myself as well. However, no company is sponsoring this video, so you will as always get my honest opinion. Who is sponsoring this video though is me, because if you're sick and tired of trying to find music for your podcasts, your streams, or YouTube videos like this without running the risk of getting copyright strikes, well, now there's soundBEATS. It's available on all major streaming platforms such as Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube Music, and more. I originally created it for myself, but now it's available for everyone to use. All tracks are free to use under the Creative Commons license, so whether it's lo-fi through to synthwave and beyond, check it out, link in the description down below. Let me know what you think. Right, so first up we're going to be looking at 3 from Kiwi Design here. So this is the Kiwi Design F4, and I would say if you liked the feel of the default facial interface, then this will make it more hygienic, kinder on your skin, but it's not much cheaper than these full facial interfaces that we're going to be looking at. So on a scale of rating, I'm going to give it a C. It's okay, but really there are better options here, so I just really wanted to get that one out the way first. Moving on to these two, so you've got the V3 and the V4 for the Quest 3S and Quest 3. So both of these come with a extra facial interface, so padded leather, nice and soft on your face. It's nice and comfortable to wear. Both of them come with that. Looking at the Quest 3 one first, yes, it's got vents across the top, so good for ventilation, good for helping to keep you cool. There is no adjustability on this. It is a fixed depth, so there's no spacers or they're not height adjustable. If you wear glasses with these, well, it is a tight fit, so I could just about get this on with wearing my glasses, but there are certainly more comfortable ones later in the video if you do wear glasses. So there's no depth adjustment to this. There are vents. It is tight if you happen to be wearing glasses, but if you're not, it is comfortable to wear, and the nose guard is pretty good as well. Give it a rating of B. And then moving on to the Kiwi Design V4, and this is for the Quest 3S. Pretty much the same kind of thing. I'd actually say I think the vents on this are better than the ones on the Quest 3. It is comfortable to wear, there's vents, it's not depth adjustable either, so probably unsurprising, it's the same B rating for the V4. Moving on to one of the most interesting ones out of the lot here. So this is brand new from KKCOBVR, and this is their K3S facial interface for the Quest 3S, and it comes with an integrated fan into the facial interface. This is probably one of the best facial interfaces out of all of them in this list that is good for those that wear glasses. It is nice and wide, and it is comfortable to wear. My main issue was with that fan, because the fan does make it considerably heavier than all the other ones out here. So this weighs 153 grams, and that weight is at the front where the fan is. It does start to put a bit more weight on the front of your headset, and if anything, you're trying to get weight off the front of your face, not add to it. It basically blows air in one side and it sucks air out the other. So the idea that it kind of keeps this circulating motion. Now that all sounds really good in practice. So you've got air coming in to keep you cool. The problem was that where the air comes in, which is on the left-hand side, it was just blowing into my left eye. So I could feel it blowing into my eye. It kind of follows the curve of the headset or the facial interface and then just hits the corner of your eye. So you kind of end up with a dry left eye. It just didn't work for me. The other issue I had was that the nose guard here just doesn't really do a good job with my shape of nose for blocking out light. So I do get quite a bit of light coming in through that nose guard. So if you look at the weight, the light leakage around the nose, the air blowing into your eye, I'm gonna have to give it an F. Moving on to another set of brand new facial interfaces. These are a bunch from Globular Cluster. Now, I have reviewed their previous versions before, and I liked the design of them, but there were some areas where they could improve it. So they've gone away, redesigned it, and come back with this. So we've got the F3 V3 for the Quest 3, and then we've got just the F3 for the Quest 3S. So you get the standard one, which is just your PU leather, nice and comfortable to wear. It also comes with 2 other ones as well. So you've got one which is like a cool silk cloth, and one that's just more of a memory foam cloth. Essentially, they both come with 3 sets of facial interfaces for the price of one. The nose guard I thought looked a little bit weird because it's kind of this double over flappy thing, but when you actually put it on your nose and you wear it, it actually does a really good job of blocking out light. Now the coolest thing about this facial interface set is that it's magnetic. You then choose which one of the 3 you want to attach to your headset. That then just magnetically attaches, plus each of them comes with 2 different spacers. You've got 4mm and 6mm. So you can choose whether you want a 4mm spacer or a 6mm spacer, or you could put them both together to create a 10mm spacer. And then whichever one, say you want to take a different one here, that snaps on too. And if you want to use either of these with glasses, then they are both a good fit with glasses as well. You'll also notice the holes here as well. So if you want the most amount of airflow into your face, you can leave those open. If you don't want that though, you can take the sides from one of them here. It also attaches magnetically. So you can take that off and then just attach that onto this one. Plus the nose guard as well is also magnetic. So if you don't want it, you just take it off. And if you want it again, you just clip it back on. So basically everything is attached through magnets. Now, one of the criticisms I had of their previous versions was that you could see gaps between all of the different layers when they were all attached together. They've now fixed that. I cannot see any light gap between any of the layers. If you're the type of person who has a family of people, or you've got a bunch of mates, and you all decide that you all want to share the headset, well, you can do that, and you can each have your own facial interface. So these do cost you $50. I haven't seen anything like it. These are S tier for me. For a group of people, easily S tier facial interfaces. A secret little add-on, or an extra add-on, is they also do what do they call it? They call it a silicon light blocker. So if you take the base plate from the Quest 3, put it the right way around, you can snap that on, and then you could just have this silicon cover. Like, there's no foam in here. It is literally just a light blocker. So you might ask, well, why am I going to use that? This is going to be super helpful if you're the kind of person who has a Halo style head strap and you like to wear your VR headset without a facial interface because you just prefer it. So if you like to wear it like that, but you want to get more light blocked, then you can essentially get this, and it just sits in front of your face like that. Still allows you to have that kind of free floating VR feel, but it helps block out more light as well. That is a super cheap add-on. It's just basically an extra $10. So the Globular Cluster Silicon Light Blocker, I'm going to give a B tier because I think it's either S tier and you're really going to love it, or it's F tier and you're going to find it pointless. So sitting in the middle. So looking at a couple from AMVR now. So you've got the FC4 for the Quest 3 and the FC5 for the Quest 3S. Looking at the FC4 for the Quest 3 first, and you've got these depth adjustment dials on either side. So they turn with a nice reassuring click, so it's easy to get the right distance for you. There is some vents on the top and some on the sides as well. They're not the biggest vents, so you do get some airflow, but some of the ones here are better. I don't actually have particularly big glasses, but these just were not comfortable for me wearing glasses. It was just way too tight a fit, so I wouldn't recommend them for glasses wearers. It's going to be fine enough. I just think there are some better options out there. I'm going to be harsh. I'm going to give it a C. Moving on to the Quest 3S one, and I actually think this is a better design. So there's no depth adjustment on this one though, which is a bit of a bummer. It is actually more comfortable with glasses than the FC4 one was, and it's got vents absolutely everywhere. So top, on the sides, on the bottom, so lots of airflow to help keep you cool. Comes with an extra face pad, so I'm going to give this a tier, not quite S. Moving on to the BOBOVR F3. Now this is BOBOVR's only facial interface that they make, and it has very much been designed to perfectly match the S3 Pro head strap. You've got these grooves in the top of the facial interface that are designed to let airflow from that head strap, because it's got a built-in fan, and get to your face to help keep you nice and cool. You do also have height adjustment or depth adjustment dials on both sides. They're not as good as the depth adjustment ones on the AMVR because they're not ratchets, they're not notches, it's just a slider. So it's a little bit harder to get the same depth on both sides. My biggest criticism of this previously has been their nose guard, which is just this bit of cloth, which I don't find particularly helpful. Certainly if you have it right up like here, I can find this really gets into your eyes. What I found is really useful, makes it far more comfortable, is to just double over the fabric like this. Then it just sits over the top of your nose like that. It still does a pretty good job of blocking out loads of light, but it doesn't get into your eyes. Vent wise, you've got some across the top here, and really that's to help let more of the S3 Pro fan air get in through this headset. I didn't find it good with glasses. I found it too tight to wear with glasses. Really, it's the kind of facial interface that if you have the S3 Pro, you don't wear glasses, this is a great match. Otherwise, not so much. So for that reason, I'm gonna have it sitting in the middle, and it's a B tier for the BOBOVR F3. Moving on to the official Meta breathable facial interface for the Meta Quest 3S. This has to be one of the most breathable facial interfaces because the whole material all the way around the outside is made of this mesh fabric. So airflow on this absolutely isn't a problem. However, because of the mesh, it does let a lot of light in. So it's highly breathable, but not very good at blocking out light. The silicone slightly padded facial pad, or the face pad here, it's nice and comfortable, and it's cushioned and suspended, got some suspension in there to help it fit a variety of face shapes. There is no depth adjustment on here, it is fixed. It's the widest one here. I had absolutely no problem wearing these with glasses. Now price wise, it is priced at $40, which does make it the most expensive single facial interface out of the lot that's here. Whether that's worth it or not, I think depends. Like this could be S tier. If you want the super airy facial interface, then this is going to be S tier. If you want a facial interface that is going to block out light, this is going to be F tier. If you wear glasses, then I would definitely have this on your list. So I'm going to put this in the A tier because it's really good at what it does. And depending upon what you're looking for, this could be ideal or it might not be. Moving on to the last two. The two here are from Oblik Designs. These are custom made facial interfaces for your Quest 3 and your Quest 3S. They literally take a 3D scan of your face to create a facial interface that is perfectly molded to you. Now, there's no depth adjustment on here because it doesn't need to be, because you tell them whether you wear glasses or not, and they create the mold to cater for glasses or not. You can tell them whether you want vents or you don't. You can tell them what color you want. You've got this silicone padding on the face pad itself, so hypoallergenic, nice and easy on your skin. It doesn't slide around. You've got the vents to help keep you cool. Same goes on the Quest 3S one as well. Various colors. I just happen to have the black one here and this sort of dark army green for the Quest 3S with the white face pad, which I think looks pretty cool. So the downside of all that customization and building something that's bespoke and made uniquely for you, first is the price. So it's going to cost you $69 for the Meta Quest 3S version, and it's going to cost you $89 for the Quest 3 version. The other downside is it is so custom made to your face that if you actually shared it around with your mates, it probably won't fit them as well as a generic facial interface because it's tuned and dialed to exactly to you. So if you're looking as a sole gamer for a VR facepad or VR facial interface that is going to fit just you as well as anything ever could, then a 3D scanned, custom made facial interface is the Formula One of VR accessories. So for that reasons, nothing else comes close to this. No one else does this as far as I know. It's an S tier for the Oblik Design facial interfaces. If, however, you are in a group and you want to be able to pass it around other people, then, well, I'd recommend checking out some of the other facial interfaces that are in the list that I just went through. So do you agree with the ranking, or is there one that you think should have been in the list that wasn't? Let me know in the comments down below. All purchase links and some discount codes for all of the facial interfaces gone through will be available in that description as well. If you want a head strap to go along with any of these facial interfaces, then be sure to check out the video up here, and I'll see you over there. Thanks for watching. and I'll see you in the next one.